and welcome to Getting We're Going Healing, a place where we talk about mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being to help you learn to let go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. My name is Tovah, and I will be your guide today. So today, as you know, if you've been following my show for a while, you'll know that for the most part, a lot of my inspiration for my episodes come from what I'm witnessing in the world around me. The things I'm seeing, the things I'm experiencing, the conversations I'm having with people, the themes I'm seeing come up. And I have been noticing a theme recently of self-sacrificing. And this idea that we are meant to be self-sacrificing. And I'm actually aiming this more at women. It doesn't have to be women. It can be men. This is true of men as well. But this is a pattern I see a lot in women because we've often been taught that women are the nurturers, especially when we're talking moms, right? We've been often seeing moms depicted as self-sacrificing, doing everything they have to do for their family, taking care of their kids, taking care of their spouse, taking care of their home, working outside the home, and taking on a lot of responsibilities. And this also cycles around this concept of self-love and self-care. And when we take care of ourselves, and so many women that I've talked to, again, this can include men, and often does, but the conversations I've been having recently are with women. And it has to do with a lot of women not taking care of themselves, not making time for self-care, not making time for self-evaluation, not being very compassionate or loving to themselves, not taking care of themselves because they're so drained from taking care of everyone else. They're so exhausted because all they do is take care of everyone else's needs. And we call this self-sacrificing, and we hear this a lot. I've heard this in eulogies. I've heard this all over the place. When a woman passes on, you might hear something along the lines of, she sacrificed for her family. She made sure her family's well-being was always taken care of. She was selfless. She put herself last. And these are upheld as positive things, that these are good qualities, good traits, but for whom is the question, right? Because when we are doing that for other people, yes, we look great to them when we're taking care of their needs, when we're doing what they need, when we're making sure that they are taken care of and everything that they could possibly want or need is provided for them. Yeah, they're going to feel loved and appreciated and valued because, or maybe not. It's also possible that they could take it for granted because you always do it. So they don't even recognize that that's something they should be doing. They don't even find the appreciation for the work you're doing for them because they kind of expect it because you've always done it, right? So the thing is, we take care of them, but who's taking care of us? Who's making sure our needs are met? Who's making sure that they're reminding us, oh yeah, you need to take a shower. Oh, you know what? Maybe you should go soak in a hot bath and relax. You know, maybe you should let go of some of those responsibilities and let other people take them. Those sort of things. Who's taking care of you? Who's making sure that you are well fed? Who's making sure that your clothing is ready and available for you, that you have clean clothes to wear? Who's doing all those things? I'm sure you've noticed the answer is probably no one. Probably nobody is doing those things for you. Nobody is taking care of those needs for you. Those are needs that you are doing for yourself, if you're even doing them. Because when we are burnt out, when we lack energy, our needs tend to be the first thing that goes out the window. Right? Our needs tend to be the last thing that we focus on because we're always saying, well, I got to do this for this person and this for that person and this for that person. This can even spill out into work where we take on more projects than we can possibly take care of because we don't want to let someone down, because we don't want them to, I guess really at the core of this would be feeling not good enough. I mean, there's another theme that has been rolling around a lot is the not good enough theme. I'm not good enough. If I don't do all these things, then someone's going to determine that I'm not valuable. I'm not good enough. I don't achieve enough. I don't get all the things done, and therefore I'm not good enough. And this is a common problem. And this is a theme that's been rolling around a lot. That's actually the theme of my my meditation class that's coming up very soon. If you're catching this when I release this, if you are in the Windsor and Tecumseh, Ontario, Canada area, I am going to be offering meditations every second Monday of the month. So my first meditation offering will be October 14th. If you are interested in attending the meditation, if you are in the area, it's going to be at the Lodge at Lakeshore in Emeryville on October 14th. If that is something that you are genuinely interested in and you might like to attend a meditation with me, send me an email at getinweregoinghealing@gmail.com. All one word, getinweregoinghealing, no punctuation, @gmail.com. And I'll send you a registration. You can register for the class, and I'd be happy to have you. But aside from that, the theme of the reason I bring that up is the theme of that meditation is going to be on the not good enough wound. And I'm seeing so much of that repeated around me over and over and over in TV shows, in conversations with people, in my own life, this just not measuring up, not being good enough wound. And so many of us will find ourselves burnt out trying to prove our worth. Right? Trying to prove our value by doing all these things for other people, by taking care of all of their needs in hopes that they will say to us, thank you. I appreciate what you do for me. I appreciate what you do to take care of me. I value you. You are worthy in my eyes, right? We're externalizing, we're offloading our worth to someone else. And that is a hallmark of the not good enough wound. That's a hallmark of the I don't feel valuable. I need someone else to tell me I'm valuable. Now, so if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that this channel is all about letting go of the things that are holding you back from being your best and greatest and most authentic you. And that means being able to let go of the need to have validation outside of you, to have someone else validate your worth, to have someone else tell you that you are worthy, that you are valuable, that you are needed, that you are loved. When we do all these things for other people and people please, because that's really what it is. That's really what it is people pleasing, right? And it's in a way that we don't want people to be upset with us. We feel that we have things that we have to do in order to make their lives easier. But often they're not reciprocating, right? And this can come in the form of parenting. A lot of the people I've been speaking to recently are parents. A lot of them, as I said, a lot of them are women. They're mothers. And when your child is young, you get in the habit of doing a lot of things for them because they're small, they're young, they don't know how to do it, they don't have the information, they don't have the knowledge, and you do, so you try to do it for them. Now, this pulls back to a previous conversation that we've had on this show about sometimes you need to let people struggle because the lesson for them, the knowledge, the information for them is in the struggle, is in the figuring it out, the figuring out what to do. If we do it for them all the time, they never learn how to do that. Okay, so I'm getting an example right now. Many years ago, a friend of mine was a RA, resident advisor, at the University of Toronto. And she had a bunch of freshmen, so first years, so we're talking 17, 18 years old, in her residency in the dorms. And she had to have a lesson, particularly for the boys. She had to have a lesson on how to do laundry using the washer and dryer that was provided for the students. Because these boys, and I'm going to call them boys because it's in that period between not really a boy anymore, but not really a man either, like in the middle between them. These boys had never learned how to do their own laundry because their mothers did it for them the whole time and the guys have taken care of them. But then when they left the home, they had no idea how to do this. They were doing it wrong, clean things weren't coming out right, they were putting too much soap. They had no concept on how to do their own washing because their mothers had always done this for them. This is also true of cooking, meals, anything that is a need that you can take care of for yourself that you are offloading to someone else and expecting them to take care of that need for you teaches you that you don't have to do it. And then when you come to a situation where you do need to do it for yourself, you're like, I don't know how to do it. Somebody save me. Somebody help me. Somebody figure it out for me. But in that somebody figure it out for me, what happens if there's no one to figure it out for you? Well, then you just have to figure it out yourself, right? You just have to come to your own solution, right? And that is the whole point of sometimes you have to let people struggle. Because when they are struggling, they'll come up with ideas, they'll come up with solutions, they'll come up with ways to handle the situation that will help guide them forward. And even if they pick the wrong solution and they follow through and it falls apart, they go, well, that was not the correct direction to go. So let's not do that next time. Next time, let's try something else. Or in the same situation, we didn't solve it. What else can we try? It's the finding a solution that's really important. It's finding the way out that's really important. If you do it for someone all the time, they never learn to do for themselves. They will always rely on you to do it. But beyond that, if you're taking on those jobs for someone who should be doing it for themselves, you are expending your energy to do a job that they should be expending their energy for. And now you're finding yourself depleted because you only have so much energy to work with. And when you are giving that energy out to everybody else's tasks that they should be doing for themselves, where is the energy left for you, for your needs, for you to take care of your own well-being, your own needs? There isn't any, because you're depleted. You are exhausted. You have offloaded all of your energy into other people's things, leaving nothing for yourself. And then what happens is when we don't take care of ourselves, we get angry and resentful because other people are getting the benefits of our energy and we are not. So we are now exhausted, depleted, burned out. And there's nobody coming to fix it for us. Nobody's coming to say, let me take that off your plate so you don't have to do it. Sure, it would be great. Absolutely, it would be great if someone came and looked at what you had to handle and said, you know what? Let me take that for you. I will handle that for you. You won't have to handle that. Yes, it would be lovely. Oh, it would be so nice. But that's not the reality. Okay? Generally speaking, if people around you are benefiting from the fact that you are handling their workload, they are not going to take that off your plate because that requires them to take on that workload and they are just happy without that workload, right? So I just saw 1, 2, 3, 4 on my clock, moving forward and progressing. So in this lesson, right, it is learning to choose for yourself to offload those things because those people aren't going to choose to take on those jobs themselves. So you have to give them back. You have to stop carrying it for them. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that just brings up something else another thing that's been cycling is carrying other people's things for them. I saw something that said something about physically when people bring too many things and then they hand it to you and expect you to hold it. And it's a temporary thing. And there's physically, but it's also emotionally and it's also mentally. When they give it to you to carry, if you accept that from them and carry it from them, just like when you carry something for your kid, if you've got kids, you know, if they say, Mama, can you carry this for me? Daddy, can you carry this for me? You end up carrying it the whole time, right? They don't say, well, just for a minute, okay, I'll take it back now. No, they want you to carry their burden for them. And it happens emotionally and mentally as well. People will offload their burdens onto you. And if you accept their burden, if you take their burden, that becomes your burden rather than their burden. And now you are carrying the extra weight on top of what is yours to carry. You are now carrying theirs on top of yours, which of course is going to deplete you faster. It's going to tear down your battery faster because you are giving more in places you don't need to. And they won't take it back unless you hand it back. So it's that you have to stop accepting it. When they offer you their burden, stop accepting their burden. Stop taking their burden and saying, yes, okay, I'll carry that for you. When you know darn well you're going to end up carrying it for them the whole time. And they're just free, carefree, without all this burden to weigh them down. And now you are overly weighed down because you've taken it from them. Stop taking it from them. Let them struggle a little bit. Let them find a solution. Let them figure out how to carry their burden for themselves, how to make adjustments, how to release some of their own burdens in their own way so that they don't have as much to carry, right? Because they're probably carrying somebody else's or they're carrying baggage that has been left behind that is not yours. that was given to them by somebody else, and they're still carrying it. That's our generational wounding, right? That's our generational patterns. We're carrying patterns and behavior and thoughts and ideas that were handed down to us from our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, and however many generations back, that was just passed down over and over and over. And we're carrying all that burden. When we say, I'm not carrying it anymore, it's not mine. I'm not taking responsibility for it. It's not mine. When you choose to let go and stop carrying the burden, you actually lighten your load. And when you lighten your load, you are less exhausted. You don't have as many things to weigh you down, right? This counts emotionally and physically and mentally. It's another example is the mental load, right? Where women tend to carry, and again, I'm generalizing, but because it is the most frequent pattern that I see, women tend to take on the mental load. We know when the doctor's appointments are. We know when the eye appointments are. We know when the school functions are. We know when the extracurricular activities are. We know all those things, and yet many others in our household may not be aware of that. We are expected to know all of those things, to carry all of those burdens, and no one else is offering them. So find ways to offload them. Okay, find ways. Maybe it's a giant calendar on your wall where you write all the things so everyone is capable of seeing it, instead of constantly pushing to you to be like, hey, and you're the keeper of all the knowledge. Don't be the keeper of all the knowledge. Put the knowledge out there and available for everyone to see, so that you are not the only keeper of the knowledge. So many times we don't offload what is overburdening for us, because in that we feel guilt. We feel shame, because we've been told and we've been taught by the examples we've seen of the adults around us, as well as by society, that we're just supposed to grin and bear it. We're supposed to be, like I said in the beginning, that self-sacrificing person. Oh, they sacrificed everything. They were always there for their family, and they just took care of everybody's needs. Yeah, it looks real great to other people when you're taking care of their needs, but it's not looking real great for you, because you're just exhausted. So you can't expect someone outside of you to make those changes. Those changes always come from inside. We are the ones that have to make the change inside us, which means we need to stop carrying the burden. We need to recognize that we are not responsible for carrying the burden, and then choose not to. Now, I will preface this and say, when you first begin to stop carrying people's burdens, they are going to be angry with you, because now they have to take on that burden. They have to carry their own weight. They have to carry their own stuff, and they haven't had to. So now they're being weighed down, and they're going to blame you for weighing them down. Don't fall for it. Okay, don't fall for it, because remember, it was their burden to begin with, and they handed it to you and said, hey, can you carry this for me? And you're just saying, yeah, I carried it for a while. It's yours now, though. Take it back, please. I'm not carrying it anymore. It's yours. They can choose to pick it up or not pick it up. We have no control over other people. We have no control over whether they choose to carry the burden or not carry the burden. The only decision that we have is what we do, the choices we make, the actions, thoughts, emotions that we experience, and our reactions to them. We only have control over ourselves. So you can't force someone to take the burden back, but you can let go of it and stop carrying it. And they have to decide, while it's sitting there on the ground, do they pick it up and carry it? Or do they just let it sit there and fuss and complain and, well, you're supposed to do it for me, and all of those things? Don't fall for it. Okay? I'm hearing the phrase learned helplessness, where people they act helpless because they've learned that, well, if I don't do it, if you do it for me, then I don't know how to do it, and I'll never be able to figure it out, and you'll just have to do it for me because I don't know what to do. Let them. Okay? Let them. I love that phrase, let them. When people behave in a certain way, let them. You are not in control of their actions, their thoughts, their words, their behaviors. You're not in control of that at all. You're not in there with them. It's just them by themselves with their own experiences. You are not in control of that. So when people behave in a certain way, let them. They're demonstrating to you either a wound or a need or, a conditioning or whatever it is that they have within them that's causing their behavior. They're showing that to you. You are not responsible for fixing the problem for them. If you do that, they will never learn how to do it for themselves. They must figure that out. That is part of living in this world. They have to figure that out. Stop taking it for them. And when you do, you'll find you have more energy and more time to do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. Because really, what it comes down to is you're taking care of them, so their needs are met. Nobody's taking care of your needs, so you're exhausted. And it just plays into this resentment and anger as to why the heck should I be responsible for your crap and nobody's taking care of me? Because you're not being taken care of. Your needs aren't being met. But you are the one who should be meeting your own needs. If you need time to sit in solitude, I'm one of those people. I need a lot of alone time. I have a lot that goes on inside my head. I have a lot of thoughts and emotions and ideas and things that happen inside my head. And when there's too many things outside of me happening, I don't have the space to process what's going on in my head. And then I feel, it's hard to say. It's almost like prickly. Like physically, I feel uncomfortable in my own body. I feel almost like a volcano ready to explode, like just simmering at that thing. Because everything that I need to deal with on my own, I haven't been able to deal with. Because everything outside of me is demanding my attention. And then I have not been able to process the things I need to. And they're bubbling under the surface, just waiting for just the right trigger to set it off and push it over. Right? And then I'm not a useful person to those around me. And I'm not a useful person to myself either, because now it's taking all my energy to process the emotions that I'm stuck in. When I take time to be by myself, which is one of my needs, I need to be by myself. I need to work through stuff that's going on within me. When I take the time that I need, I feel much better. And I am a better, helpful person to those in my life. I'm capable of handling stuff and even redirecting them, because I'm not taking on people's problems anymore. I'm just helping to empower them to take on their own. Saying, you know what? I know you'll be able to handle this. I know that you have the skills and the tools and you'll be able to figure this out. And I know that I don't need to take this from you. I know I don't need to figure it out, because I know that you will find a way. Even if you make a couple of mistakes, it's okay, because I know you will learn from it. I know you will grow from it, and I know you will figure out the right answer. I believe in you. I have faith in you. You can figure this out, and I'm rooting for you. When I am in that position and no longer accepting people's stuff, I have the space to deal with what I need to deal with. When I'm feeding myself when I should, when I'm drinking enough water, when I'm getting enough physical exercise, when I'm getting enough time out in nature and in fresh air, when I'm getting my connection with my social community, with the people, my like-minded people that make me feel valued and appreciated because they genuinely understand me. When I am doing those things, I'm taking care of my social needs, I'm taking care of my intellectual needs, I'm taking care of my physical needs, I'm taking care of my mental needs, I'm taking care of my emotional needs. When I am taking care of my needs, I am not resentful for those around me needing more from me, because I am replenished. I feel good about myself. I feel good about where I'm at. And so, generally speaking, when we're hearing this stuff about like just being depleted, like the people pleasing and the being exhausted and just overwhelmingly unable to care for ourselves because all the energy we have is going to other people, then we're really not that useful to them. If we're being totally honest, we're not that useful to them because we're not able to process in a good way. We're not able to think through the ideas. We're kind of resentful as we're giving the ideas. We're kind of like, ugh, why can't you do this for yourself? Fine, I guess I'll do it for you. And when we're doing that, we don't actually want to do it for them. We're kind of angry about the fact that we have to do it for them. We're kind of irritated that we have to do it for them. So we're betraying ourselves too by saying, I know I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it because they need it to me. And again, that sort of mindset builds up resentment over time. And then we get angry with our partners, or we're angry with our children, or we're angry with our coworkers, or we're angry with our friends or our family or whoever it is that we're taking on their burden. Over time, it's too heavy. And then we're just grumbling about it. But nobody fixes that until we choose to let go. Like, you have to let go. Like, you can't say, here, take your stuff, while still pulling it and trying to hold it and be like, here, just take it, while you're like keep it. I'm just going to hold it. When you're doing that, you're not giving them the space to do what they need to do. You're not letting them heal what they need to heal. You have to let go. You have to let go. Let people be responsible for their stuff. Let them carry their own weight. Okay, let them struggle a bit, and then they'll figure it out. Okay, if I put this bag here, and I put this here, and I put this here, okay, now I can carry it all. It's a lot, but I can carry it all. They'll figure it out, okay? You don't need to. And that leaves you more space to do what you need to do to take care of yourself, okay? So I hope this found who it was meant to find. Again, I'm seeing this pattern come up over and over and over. And of course, just as a thing about the not good enough, when we can't meet those needs of other people and ourselves, that's when we feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. If only I were better. If only I were stronger. If only I were more capable. If only. But you're asking for strength to carry what is not yours. And it's not a self-worth thing. It's not about you're not good enough. It's not about you aren't going to meet the criteria. It's not about any of that stuff, okay? Because when you know what you are capable of, when you know your value, when you know your worth, nobody can take that from you because it comes from the inside. That's the whole point of self-worth and self-value. Okay? It is self. It is within you. You know what you are bringing to the table. You know what your value is. You know what your worth is. And nobody outside of you can take that away from you, no matter what they want to say, no matter how much they say, well, you don't do this for me and you're just not good enough and you're just da, 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 da. They're projecting onto you and making it your responsibility to carry what's happening within them. Those are things they feel inside of them. And they are pushing that onto you and asking you to carry the weight of that emotional baggage for them, not yours to carry. You got your own. I promise you, if you were listening to my channel, I promise you got a lot of your own baggage. Because many of us that are listening and doing this work, we are releasing generational trauma. We are releasing generational patterns. We are releasing baggage that has been handed down generation after generation, mindsets, emotions, emotional concepts, emotional regulations, obligations, all these things, cultures, they are passed down generation after generation after generation. And they're based on shame, and they are based on overwhelm and exhaustion, and particularly shame. Like, shame is the biggest one. If you don't do this, you'll be an outcast. You're wrong. You're whatever. You're unlovable. I mean, that's the core of our not good enough, right? That you feel that if you don't measure up, you'll be unlovable. That no one will love you, no one will value you, no one will appreciate you, and you'll die alone. I'm taking it to extremes, but that is the way that some people think. That is the catastrophizing that drags it all the way down to that point. So as we're letting go, as we're letting other people take their own responsibilities, we're freeing ourselves up to take better care of ourselves. And when we are taking better care of ourselves, we are better able to handle the things that come up within us, the illnesses, the stress, the overburden, the overwhelm. We are better able to give ourselves the rest we need, the health we need, the care we need, the love we need, the nutrition we need, the outside time, the social interaction, all of those things. If you're not familiar with the self-care stuff, I do have an episode going back to, I think it was season 2. I'm not sure if it's season 1 or season 2, but where I did an episode on self-care and the 6 different types of self-care. Those are things you should be looking at for yourself, to look at what areas am I not taking care of myself? What areas should I be putting more effort into? When you take better care of yourself, you are a better person. You are a better human being to the other human beings around you and the non-human beings around you. When you are in that state, you are better able to handle what life throws at you. But you can't do that if you are carrying everybody else's bags for them. So let go. Stop carrying them. Give them back. Sorry, I will not carry your baggage for you. Okay, I hope this found whoever it was meant to find. I hope this gives you the direction you need to go. I hope this empowers you to begin taking better care of yourself and to begin letting go of other people's stuff. Just as a heads up, they will call you selfish. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to prepare you for that before we finish up. They will call you selfish. When you stop carrying other people's stuff, they will say that you are being selfish by putting the burden onto them. By making them carry a burden, they will call you selfish. It's okay. Let them. They are projecting onto you. They are projecting their wound of needing to take care of other people and needing to overburden yourself onto you and saying that you are responsible for taking care of this thing for me. Don't fall for it. It's not yours. If they call you selfish, they are projecting. Don't take it. Don't accept it. Know that self-centeredness is only a problem when you spend more time acknowledging yourself and no time acknowledging others and their needs. It's okay to acknowledge the needs of others. It's okay to take care of others, but we should be taking care of ourselves. Self-centeredness means being centered in yourself, knowing what you need, knowing what your needs are, and taking the time and energy to meet those needs for yourself. When you do that, you are better able to be a whole-centric person. Hence, self-centeredness. You should be at the center of it all, and then everyone else is around you. And when you are taking care of your needs, you have so much more energy and love and things to offer because you are in a good place, and then you can offer to those around you, not before. Okay? Stop depleting yourself. So until next time, keep letting go of the things that are holding you back from being your best, your greatest, your most authentic you. Love and light. Bye.